Hey everyone, Unravel Midi here. Thanks for joining me for part 2 of my story, my testimony. If you haven't watched part 1, please pause it. Go back and watch that one first, and then that way this will make much more sense. It is a long video. It's a 10-minute. I apologize, but I am telling a story, and I want to make sure I paint a good enough picture for God. So, anyways, as with part 1, I will reiterate that if you don't have anything nice to say, just keep scrolling. You don't need to say anything. That's what my mama said. You ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Right? Right. Okay. So now that we've got that established, leave tons and tons of awesome, engaging comments. And then that way we can have good conversations about this stuff, okay? Nothing negative. All right. So let's just jump into part 2 here. So, I had all this bitterness, this frustration, this anger bottled up. And like a dummy, I bottled it up for years and just stewed on it. And like I said in part 1, it was the dumbest thing that I did, but I didn't know any better, because of my ignorance prior. I wasn't reading the Bible. I wasn't engaging in conversations with God and praying. I wasn't engaging enough in my Bible studies even, So and all these things could have easily helped me out so much in that situation when my mother-in-law passed away. But instead, I just chose to what I knew prior to learning about Jesus and God. So, like I said, I stewed on it. I held on to it like an idiot for years. And these last couple years, I was finally able to start letting that go. And cut to last year. Last year, 2022, was a struggle. A little bit of a struggle. It had tons of ups and downs. So, man, gotta love the roller coaster, right? I could have done without some of the low dips, but I understand that it was to build me up. Anyways, so my wife and we moved back to Arizona from Michigan early 2022 February. Found an awesome church here that we're still part of now, and love it. Love growing with them. Love the family there. Love the atmosphere. Love the pastors. Just a great atmosphere all around. So we were fortunate to find that home. Anyways, later in the year, I had gone through some issues with jobs, and I was laid off not once but twice last year. It was awesome, so much fun. But during that turmoil, I was able to fix my relationship with God. I was able to finally let go of that anger. I was able to start seeing the ignorance of old Greg. Don't be putting any puns in here now, but I'm old Greg. But yeah, I was able to start mending those wounds that I let just stay gaped open for years, for so long, dude. Like, I'm talking like 7-8 years, 6-7-8 years, something like that. So anyways, I mended the relationship, trying to get back to that Christian high, and the right way this time. And during that, my wife and I decided to join an alpha group that they were hosting at our church last September, October. And we got to go on a retreat, which was awesome. And so awesome, in fact, that we were able to do another retreat this year. And so I was able to, but anyways, that first retreat, we were up in Prescott, Arizona. And if you haven't been to Prescott, Arizona, man, God was doing some awesome work when he was sculpting that area. It's just it is just its own slice of heaven to me. I think I would love to move up there permanently, and that is the goal. But yeah, it's just, so if you haven't been and you live near the area, you have to check it out. If you're not from the area and you happen to be on your way through, go check it out. It's a beautiful little town, and some beautiful mountain ranges, and some awesome camping up there. Anyways, sorry, getting off track. So we were up in Prescott, and I just, like, God was just doing so many awesome things up there. There was some good miraculous healing with some of the people that were in our Alpha group up there at the retreat. I felt, the Holy Spirit, pressed, come onto me, and it was just, man, it was just awesome. I got to go, and I actually woke up in one of the first time lapse, the sunrise time lapse I did. If you watch any of my time lapses, one of the first ones I did was up there. I got a lot of good pictures of the night sky with some of my cameras. It was just an awesome time to just be able to take a break from the chaos of every day, and be able to reflect and actually calm myself enough to hear God. Where there's just so much white noise in the cities that it just gets drowned out sometimes. But anyways, yeah. Side note, because obviously I'm talking about Alpha. If you have not done an Alpha class, I urge you to please check with your church or with any other local churches if your church doesn't happen to be doing an Alpha class. It is an awesome intro into learning about who Jesus was, or who he was and who he is, and learning more about how to grow your faith and grow your relationship with Jesus and with God. So yeah, definitely go check that out if you haven't already. All right, back to the story again. Sorry, tangents. Squirrel. So we're up at Prescott. Everything's awesome. Come back. Thanksgiving, get laid off again. But this time I'm a little bit better equipped to deal with it, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And, we make it through. I finally get a job. It took, obviously, nobody wants to really do a whole lot of hiring around Christmas, so it wasn't until the end of January, almost the beginning of February, that I found a job. And thank you to so many people who have been so kind enough, friends and family and church fam and strangers that were kind enough to help my wife and I out when we were in a time of need. We are very grateful, very blessed, and so just thank you so much if you happen to have been one of those people who helped us when we were going through those struggles. But anyways, we're doing the next Alpha class here for spring, and I've been door dashing and working the 9-to-5 job because my wife has had some health issues and these last few months, and so it's just a whole lot going on top of the 2 layoffs, on top of everything else. So just constant turmoil is what it feels like, every day, and or at least every other day. And so right before we're getting ready to go on this Alpha trip here in spring, back in April, I'm door dashing and I'm stressing out. And normally when I door dash, I just listen to Pandora. I switch it up between a couple different channels, like jazz, Dirty Heads radio. I'll listen to Chris Tomlin radio. I just like to switch it up, I very rarely do I listen to FM radio anymore. And I just happen to be driving, and I don't know, like, Pandora just wasn't speaking to me, I guess. It just wasn't hitting it, and I just felt the need, like, you know what, check something else out. And I checked something else out, and I put it on FM radio, and the channel that was already on was one of the local Christian, like K-Love or something. I forget. It's not K-Love, but it's one of those channels like that. Well, like that, wow. Didn't mean it to sound so negative. Tune in for part 3, apparently. Hey.
Love you.